Hey, Tony and Josh, I have Ron North here with SteerSmarts, and we're going to sit and chat with him a little bit on his company and some great new products that are out on the market. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Great, and thanks, Tammy, for having me on the show tonight.
Oh, we're excited to hear what you have to tell us. So you're with SteerSmarts. Do you want to give us a little history on your company?
Well, it's kind of exciting. It's a brand new startup division of a company that's been in business for about 83 years. We're probably Ford Motor Company and one of their oldest suppliers. We've been in the steering and suspension business ever since 1932. So it's kind of fun heading up a new division, and we're going after the performance aftermarket, and Jeep Wrangler being the number one target. We've designed some very exciting and interesting products for the Jeep Wrangler.
So why did you pick why the Jeep Wrangler?
Well, for one thing, Tammy, there's over 1 million of them on the highway, the JKs from the 2006 up. There's probably 1.6 million on the highway. And there's a lot of off-roaders that kind of have an interest in, beefing up their Jeep Wrangler with large tires and so forth. So a lot of things, the suspension parts need to be, beefed up also. So we took our 83 years of lessons learned and developed one heck of a strong steering linkage for the Wrangler. And while doing that, we were thinking of some other products. The Jeep Wrangler is kind of strange to drive. If you're a mother and you got children in the back seat and you're worried about safety, we invented the steering attenuator. We call it the Griffin Attenuator. And it kind of adds safety to the Jeep for kind of quick lane maneuvering, and really reduces a lot of the road harshness that you feel from expansion strips and gravel roads. Kind of a unique product. So it got us into the business, and we're going to continue to develop more products in the future. We're looking at control arms, track bars, and all kinds of things that'll be from a experienced, lesson learned supplier to General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. So Powers and Sons is my parent company. So we use all their facilities, their engineering, their test labs, and their lessons learned, as I repeated several times, to develop new exciting products for the Jeep Wrangler.
Now, the steering attenuator, which you guys now call the Griffin, which I know it as the steering attenuator because, I don't know, what was it, about a year and a half ago, you contacted me and you said, hey, do you want to try this out on your Jeep? And I was a little hesitant to try it out because, I was a new Wrangler owner, and I just wasn't familiar with all the inner workings of the Jeep. But do you want to tell us where the attenuator goes and what it replaces?
Yes, and you were one of the first few that tried the attenuator. You and a friend of yours, I sent you 2 of them. The attenuator it fits in the drag link, and it's a complete replacement of the drag link adjuster. Typical Wrangler has a direct steel path that goes right from the knuckle to the gearbox, and you feel everything from the road through this direct steel path. The rest of the vehicle, the body and everything, that's all on bushing, so it's all isolated from all this harshness that you feel from the road. So this fits right into where the adjuster fits for the drag link for centering your wheel, and it acts like a damper, is a simple way of saying. It dampers out a lot of this harshness that you feel from the road. You'd be surprised how it helps track the vehicle straight. So you're able to kind of be more relaxed as you're going down the highway at 55, 70 miles an hour. And the other feature of it that a lot of people haven't really witnessed is the safety feature of the snap steer. It really reduces the snap steer that you receive when you kind of turn the steering wheel real quick. If, let's say, a deer jumps in front of you and you're going down the highway. When you turn the steering wheel, your wheels automatically start steering the vehicle, but your body of the vehicle is kind of catching up through all the bushings and the dampers that it has in all the body dampers. So this kind of flows the steering the same as the body would flow. And bump steer is kind of reduced, and it just makes it a safer vehicle. It could keep it from, rolling over. But the biggest advantage everybody that's found is that it just feels a lot less harshness from the road. You don't feel the potholes that we have up here.
I would I would
areas.
attest to that 100%. It so made my ride on the interstate, which is mostly just when I head up to Roush Creek to go off-roading, just so much more relaxing, and just the steering is so much, I call it tighter because it's not as loose and you don't have to hold on as tightly, and you're not, getting your muscles all tensed up. But the funny thing is when you first offered it to me, I was like really nervous and I didn't want to try it. And so, I did take the attenuator that you offered it to me and I sent it up to Jeff in Delaware, and he tried it out and he was like, God, it was an easy install, and he, loved it. And then I started seeing all these other people on the forums who were ordering it, and they were like raving about it. And I was like, oh God, why didn't I get one? Why did I pass this up? And so, a lesson learned there for me. I'm not going to pass up any more of these awesome deals, because it's a really great product, especially if you're doing a lot of highway driving.
People I gave them to on the forum, and that really started a roll. And I think I sold 100 or 150 to these members on the forum. And I'll tell you, these guys are sharp. They know their business with Jeeps.
Yep.
I mean, that's why they're on the forum. And I never got a bad review out of the 100 people that bought them and put them on. They just all remark what a miracle, it is to the car.
So now, don't you have like some new video out for the Griffin? So people, do we have something to take a look at here?
We sure do. I went to a marketing company about 6 months ago, and they said, hey, you ought to name your products after these legendary creatures, and the Griffin is one of them. And yeah, I do have a video on it. You want to take a break right now and show the video?
Yep, let's take a watch.
Your Jeep Wrangler was created to help you explore the natural beauty of our great land from the ground up. And for those Wrangler owners with a simpler worldview, may we suggest the Griffin by SteerSmarts, the highly engineered drag link adjusting sleeve that improves your safety and virtually eliminates that jittery steering wheel feel at highway speeds. The Griffin from SteerSmarts, the stuff of legends. Powered by Powers & Sons.
Ron, that was a pretty funny video there. It was some great marketing.
We had some fun making it, having that Griffin fly over the desert lands and so forth. It was a lot of fun making that video. So
now you were just at SEMA just a couple of weeks ago, and I think you introduced some new product there. Is that correct?
Yes, we did. First time in a booth, well, first year in business, really, if you want to look at it that way. And we had quite an audience. We had a whole lot of press come and look at our product. We designed and built a new steering linkage called the Yeti. If you think the other video was something, wait till you see this one. But it's a real heavy-duty linkage for the Wrangler. And it's almost equivalent to like a Class 4 truck. At Powers & Sons, all we do is build truck linkages. And we build them from Class 2 to Class 7 trucks. So we took a lot of that lesson learned on what kind of sockets and tubes and heat treats and materials. And we put together a Yeti linkage that's the strongest and most durable linkage that ever built for Wrangler. I got this video. Tammy, you want to show the Yeti video?
Yeah, why don't we take a look at that?
I first saw it when I was 16. I've been tracking it ever since for over 55 years. It's a Yeti. You can tell by the tire tracks here and here.
Well, that could be from my car.
Yeah, right. 55 years of research and I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what? This interview is over.
Introducing Yeti Series Heavy-Duty Linkage from SteerSmarts. The strongest, most durable linkage you can get. Engineered from the ground up to give you maximum performance. Yeti Series Heavy-Duty Linkage from SteerSmarts. The stuff of legends. Powered by Powers & Sons.
Hey, Ron, that was another good video. How did you come up with the names the Yeti and the Griffin?
This marketing company said, we ought to call you SteerSmarts, and we ought to call your products after these kind of legendary creatures, the beast. And they came up with the Griffin which is part lion and eagle, and
Right.
of course the Yeti being the snowman. He looks like a mean guy.
Right.
And our linkage is meant to be mean. It's strong and so it kind of goes hand in hand. We went along with it, and we're getting a lot of response at SEMA. They said, "My God, we had these names up on our backdrop, and we had the pictures of the creatures there, and it was a big hit." The Yeti Linkage, we have a couple of exciting things about it. For years, when people lift their Jeeps, they go to the top mount drag link. And what they've been doing is drilling out the knuckle and taking a right-hand drive drag link, putting it on a left-hand drive vehicle, so it mounted on top. And they had this little bushing that they would slip into a 7/8 hole and mount the upper drag link in that kind of a manner. So we came up with a patent-pending process that leaves the hole in the knuckle alone. We use that taper hole that Chrysler drilled in these knuckles for the Jeep, and we come up with what we call a reverse taper mount. And we patented this process because it's quite unique. There's no drilling to get a top mount. We got a heavy-duty drag link that goes in, it bolts in, and you got it installed, and you're done in minutes. There's no drilling, and it's just terrible to drill out that material out of a knuckle and lose some of your safety factor. You're losing a lot of material in that.
Well, and
we
that's
found
my
out
kind
at
of
SEMA,
install is something easy.
We have a reverse pin technology we've been using for almost 20 years now with Ford Motor Company. It keeps linkage from flopping. And this, if you got like an assist that's kind of a hydro assist, power steering assist, or you have dampers that attaches to the tie rod, the stock linkage and a lot of these competitors that had linkages for Wrangler, their linkage flops all around. Ours, you could go down a washboard road and it's as steady as can be. So it's kind of a unique couple patents on this product that really makes our linkage unique from the competition.
So with the Griffin and with the Yeti, as far as off-roading, I can attest that the Griffin, it doesn't affect off-roading at all, but neither of these is going to make off-roading any different. I mean, I guess for the Yeti, it would make it better.
The Yeti will make it stronger, will be the strongest. You get these 37-inch tires and, you jack it up 3, 5, 6 inches and you got a lot of weight. A lot of people add armor to their vehicles and so forth. So, we'll be strong enough and able to handle the loading that some of these off-highway, ventures will see in a vehicle.
So any new products in the future that you can kind of hint to?
Well, we are going to come out with, this is a Jeep program, but we are going to come out with a Yeti for the Ram truck. And we are going to come out with some unique ideas of the heavy-duty Griffin that I mentioned that fit the Yeti.
Right.
There'll be a Griffin Yeti-like linkage. I don't know what name we're going to give that one.
Right.
We're looking at track bars next. There seems to be a good market for a good, strong track bar. So that's going to be our next heavy-duty product. And then we're going to look at control arms for the Jeeps.
So what about... I know you just do the Wranglers. Any other Jeeps that you would be, like the Cherokee or any of those that you would be working on products for?
A lot of your Jeeps are rack and pinion. Jeep is the Wrangler is kind of unique in its layout of steering. It's got the linkages. So we're linkage people. We have been. We build all the F-Series Ford truck linkages, have been for 30 some years. And we just won all the GM contract for the 2,500 to 4,500 trucks. So we're a linkage type company, and that's what we're going to specialize in. We're going to come out with the attenuator for also Ford and Chrysler. We already have it on the GM truck, a compliant relay rod. So we're here, we're steering experts, and that's what we're good at, and that's the market we're going at. It is chassis for the Wrangler.
Good, stick with the Jeep Wrangler.
It's number one in our book. It's quite a deal.
Mine too. I think Tony and Josh might disagree with me a little bit there, but that's okay. We all have our favorite Jeeps that we like. So, Ron, it was great that you took the time out to talk with us. I'm so excited that I was one of the first to get to try out the attenuator because it's the Griffin. It's always going to be attenuator to me. But I was very honored to be able to be one of the first to put it on my Wrangler and look forward to seeing some of your more newer products coming out.
Well, you're on our website,
Oh, yeah, that's right. If anyone wants to check it out, you can go to SteerSmarts.com and just sit on that homepage for a little bit. And you can see that I'm one of the opening 3 pictures there, me and my Jeep from a long time ago when my hair was curly.
Yeah, thanks for giving us permission to put you on.
Oh, yeah, anytime. But Ron, thanks again for taking the time out, and we look forward to seeing some more of your Jeep products.
Thanks, Tammy.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.